Before we wander on into the episode, I just want to make sure that everyone goes out there and hits up the YouTube, check out the Spotify, check out Apple, wherever you're listening or watching to this podcast, is to go down, like it, subscribe, hit the bell if it's YouTube. Make sure you're getting those reminders. We do put these out every week, so make sure you do all that. It helps us out, and in the long run, we can make better things. So again, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Like, that's not wide at all. Like, that's that kind where you're like looking at it and, you're like, maybe I could jump it.
Yeah, 40 feet. Yeah, sure. No, but I think we can wander our way over, because this is Wandering Ways.
What's Bigfoot possibility?
Clink.
What's up? How we doing?
Good. Welcome back to another Wandering Ways episode. Going to come out hot and fast this week on us, because we've been lazy and didn't record a bunch for you guys. So this one's pretty. It's coming out. We're recording this on Sunday. It's going to come out on Wednesday. So do the math. 3 days.
Yeah, that is. Well, let's hope I can get this edited quickly, huh?
Right, exactly. No, but we're glad you're back, our wanderers. You probably saw the title. You're in for a treat today. I'm just gonna start right out with it with you, because I don't know if we've discussed this yet. But do you know who can't clink no more?
Can't clink no more?
Do our cheers at the beginning of the episode. Well, I mean, he doesn't do it anyway, but like he can't do it no more because his bottle was stolen.
Oh, Matt, buddy.
Matt, buddy, broken into downtown Portland. Well, he did leave his backpack out on like the floor of the passenger seat. It's like, dude, put it in the back seat where your windows are tinted.
Yeah, you're supposed to hide it so like nothing's really like popping out. No, but I heard he got his car broken into, and so then I was in Portland this last weekend, and I was gonna bring my bike to go on like a bike ride on my like non-work kind of day.
Right.
I decided not to because I didn't want to leave it in the car.
I don't blame you, because it's kind of interesting, because I was talking to my dad about that, and we're not going to wander too far with this episode of Wandering Ways today, but he says kind of in an area like Portland, it is kind of the police aren't really policing those areas because of the activists pushing for like defund the police. That same day there was a coffee with a cop happening at a native indigenous coffee store in Portland, and some people came in and they vandalized the whole property and threw paint on a bunch of paintings and stuff, and just kind of hurt a minority business, that was trying to reach out and do a nice thing and say, hey, we're all in the same community. We all live together. Let's start finding these common goals, these common paths that we all want, So Matt, buddy, I don't know if he was a part of the hate on natives, but had to throw that out there, let you guys know, keep updated in his life. But no, what have you been up to? I heard you've been just traveling a little bit, kind of getting places, getting going. No, maybe?
No, not a whole lot. I went up to Portland. That's really the only like fun travel I've done. I've done some work. Well, even this one was for work technically, because I went to a conference, but instead of taking my bike, I decided to go on a little trail run, and I went to good old Silver Falls. And Silver Falls never really disappoints.
Well, I like that park, and it's a park that I've always gone to as like a kid, because my grandparents lived in Salem. It was always like one of those like day trips, easy to do places, because there's something to do for all ages of the family at Silver Falls.
There really is. It's a good state park to like for anyone to go.
Well, and they have that swim area. They have the waterfalls. You walk under the waterfalls. It's pretty like hands-on in the sense that like if you want to go swim underneath the waterfall, you can. It's really cold water, but you can do it.
Yeah, no, you're right there. I can't remember where I saw it. I saw it on Instagram. but I can't remember the account or anything. But I saw it was like, who knew that Oregon had Iceland in it? And it was just a bunch of like videos of Silver Falls.
No, exactly. Well, you get the like the whole experience. You get small waterfalls, you get the big waterfalls, you get to walk underneath them, you get to go behind them, you can get up on top of them. You know, you
Yeah.
really it's they're beautiful waterfalls, but like makes me want to go to Iceland, I guess, then after
Yeah,
hearing
I
that.
think March is like the best time, honestly, to go to Silver Falls because there's a lot of water. So the waterfalls are really like raging and kind of powerful. And then it's typically greener. So it's really kind of a cool kind of like color with it.
I think last year I went on Christmas Eve with Joe or Christmas Day with Joe. We went down there just to do a little quick hike in the morning, and then we went over to meet our family. And it had snow. It's up actually in elevation high enough that they do get snow, because it was kind of weird. Like Salem and the surrounding areas really didn't have a lot of snow, but then you get up into the waterfall area and you're like, what the
Yeah.
heck? And it's always an interesting drive to get to that
Mhm.
area because this kind of comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Kind of like this park I'm thinking about that we're talking about today.
Yeah, 100%. No, if Silver Falls does, it's just like, all right, we're here type of deal. Um, you don't realize how close it is to Silverton, that little town. But
Don't
no,
they
no,
do,
no, you are
don't
right.
don't they do the mattress races in Silverton? I think where they like you build basically like a derby car and you push it down a hill, but it's built out of like your mattress. I think Silverton does that.
Maybe I don't know if it does
So,
or not.
Silver Falls or Silverton, one of those towns around that area. I know they have one of those weird derby things like that.
I wouldn't be surprised. That seems like an area that has like some weird things that go on.
Yeah.
Very like community based where it's like the whole town shows up for like this one event and it's like the thing they talk about. It's like, say it's in like May, April comes around, there be like the talk of the town. Well, you gonna enter in your mattress again?
Exactly. No, that's the thing. That's the talk of the town. That's where the first dates, the first kisses happen, all that fun, good stuff at the
Oh,
local.
100%.
But we're not here to talk about that. We're going to get into the Black Canyon of the Gunnison National Park, continuing our ABC series, with the wonderful Reverend and Ranger Zach. And we're going to talk about a park that it's just fairly new. Oh, he's got a postcard. Look at that, guys.
I got a postcard for pretty much every park.
I have that same one though, because that's the like in the book here, the like
Hey,
national I have.
that's the same picture.
It is. There's a fish in there. And we're just going to start off with the right fact. Did you know this park was founded in 1999?
Yeah, right. No, it's a new park, which is what makes it so fascinating, and why I think this is going to be a good little ABCs, just little facts. Because I don't think I really knew about this park like before today. I think I may have like seen the name, but it's like I was like, okay, that's cool. I don't know where that is, type deal. Um,
Well, it's an interesting spot because it's in that southwestern Colorado corner, which is just a beautiful spot. And I've been blessed enough because we had a place in Chama, New Mexico, which was right on the New Mexico Colorado border. So we spent a lot of time going up into Colorado. I don't think we ever really made it over the Black Canyon of the Gunnison, but we're in those areas. It is a beautiful area by the pictures. It looks very familiar to some of the areas that like I've been around. Um, and it also shows, I think the reason I wanted to hit on the 1999 is the fact that like we can still make national parks. We can still make national monuments. We can set aside these public lands for future generations. Um, it's also interesting too, because this is kind of close to like where the southern Utes of the Colorado, where they live, is close to this park. And just it goes to show that a lot of these parks have those histories of the first peoples actually living in them, and they have kind of
Speaking of
dwellings.
First Peoples, happy Indigenous Peoples Day tomorrow, by the way.
Oh, thank you for pointing that out. No, we do celebrate. At G&G, we work harder on that day because not everyone knows it's Indigenous Peoples Day. So we got to work a little bit harder until that day comes.
You're working, isn't it like a
It's
recognized holiday?
well, Columbus Day is, right?
Oh,
Like
is
that's
it still because it's they switched the name to Indigenous Peoples Day? Or did they just add that on top of like Columbus Day type deal?
a little column A and a little column B, right? Because
Okay.
it's like places like in Oregon there, they're flopping it, right? They're like, no, we're celebrating this instead of that. But you still have places that are, like the US Postal Service, they call it Columbus Day and they take that day off. So you have
Okay.
both, but you have some swapping.
Okay. That's kind of weird. Yeah, I don't
I,
know.
I don't know
To
why
me,
America.
Indigenous Peoples Day instead of Columbus Day. I don't want to celebrate a guy that brought the clap back to Europe. So,
Well, not only that, but he wasn't even like American. He was Portuguese man, I believe, who what that Spain sent. No, he was the Spanish man that Spain sent over.
I mean, to tell you the truth,
Portugal,
I don't
Portuguese
really know a whole lot about old Columbus.
wasn't American. And to top it off, he didn't even land in like the United States. He hit like the like Bahamas, when they talk about it. And like when you look at American history, we didn't come from essentially like Spain or Portugal or France, really. We came from the United Kingdom, London, all those good places. Like they don't like he wasn't one of them. I don't know why we celebrate him. Like we're just a bunch of fucking idiots in America, I guess.
Someone really wanted a day off, is really what it came down to.
Honestly, and I'll take it off. Let's just call it Indigenous Peoples Day because there's Indigenous peoples everywhere.
Yeah, but going back to the Ute people, they called Black Canyon of the Gunnison, I believe they called it Big Rocks, More Water. Um, Early on, it's probably translated to English as Big Rocks, More Water. But
No,
it's because that's such a it's reading about it because obviously I haven't been there. It seems very interesting. Um, if I were to go and then like come back and review it, I'm willing to bet the awe factor on this park is pretty high.
oh, I think it's one of those ones that yes, you're saying the awe factor be high, and I think it would hit kind of a underrated list of like, oh shit, that was really cool. I don't think it necessarily has the size, because when I get into like the secrets of the national park book that I have, they don't necessarily have a section dedicated to it. They just have a little, it's half a page. And really,
Yeah, I don't think it's very big. I mean, reading about it, the canyon at times is only 40 feet wide. Like that's not wide at all. Like that's that kind where you're like looking at it and you know you're like maybe I could jump it.
yeah, 40 feet. Yeah, sure. No, but the big thing that they're talking about, the big thing I think that there's to go is it's called the painted wall.
Yeah, I think I mean a lot of this park is kind of I mean so it's some of the um oldest rock out there, and so the
Yeah,
painted
they have
right up there with it,
yeah, the oldest rock they say up to 2 billion years.
which is
Um,
wild.
which is crazy. And then then you can get there, you could drive that southern rim to get a good view of the painted wall, which is also the highest cliff in Colorado, and it's about 2,700 feet tall.
Yeah,
Um,
it is not the deepest canyon though in the United States.
that's
Um,
that's the Grand Canyon.
Actually, that's not even the deepest canyon in the United States.
What
Uh,
is the deepest canyon in the United States? Is it?
Hell's Canyon in Oregon, Idaho.
Oh,
That is the deepest canyon in the United States. It's like 8,000 feet deep or something.
is it the Snake River that carves that one?
Yeah, I believe it's on the Snake River.
Interesting. Um, but here, going back to the painted wall, when you talk about cool, beautiful sights, and I know a place that you probably would like to see, coming from Sandy Snell Dormer, The ranger, this is a quote from a ranger, guys, meaning says it looks like somebody hand painted it.
Oh, that'd be kind of cool to see.
You know what I mean? Where like you get those. I mean, I've seen those sunsets out here in Montana all the time where you get like it's like, no, if you painted that or took a picture, someone would be like, oh, you edited it or did something to it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you could get some of those experiences with the painted wall. And then if you could get like it on a nice cloud, like sunset or sunrise, oh,
Yeah, it would be interesting to see it on like a sunset or well, actually, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know. I don't think it would because this is actually a very dark park. I was reading in like some sections of it only get like I think it said like 30 minutes of sunlight because of like how the canyon wall is positioned, how deep it is, the narrowness, and then so I mean, I'm sure it's still a very pretty sunset, but depending on where you are, I bet it's not like that good of a sunset.
I think looking, I mean, I guess like here's like a picture for reference, kind of what I'm seeing is something like that where you're looking from it from afar. So if you get the beautiful sun,
Oh yeah, yeah. Where what? Yeah, I think I
the
could.
colors of the canyon might help with that. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm reading here. You're right. It's a lot of them are just blacked out because it's just so narrow
Hmm.
and tight. And they say it drops about some of the places they go about 95 feet a mile is how quick it descends.
Yeah, which is wild. I saw that too.
That's crazy, crazy.
Yeah. But in this park, because it is so dark, it does get that classification of like one of those, what's the night star, the dark sky park
Oh yeah.
classification.
Well, and just I mean, just this part of the country, you're kind of getting close to that Four Corners area. There's not a lot of people that live in this area of the U.S. either, so you're going to get into that dark sky. Oh,
International Dark Sky Certification. That's what it is.
that's that's cool. That's what we need to see. Who was I talking to? There was somebody I was talking to. Um, oh, the Colin, this guy we work with, and he brought up that he went to Big Bend. He did Big Bend. I know that was kind of an ABC we talked about last time.
Well,
But
that's
talking
another International Dark Sky Certified Park.
Well, and he told me, he goes, the stars there. And I said, is
Oh,
it like underrated? And he goes, oh, 110%. And I was just like, oh, we need to go, Mark.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think
Here
so.
too. The Black Canyon of the Gunnison. See, I also think by looking at this park, looking at the size, looking at where it's located, it would also have to maybe fall into one of our clusters.
Yeah, I do think it has. I think this is one where you double up parks or triple up, depending on the kind of. But I don't know if you're necessarily just going for like this park.
No, unless you're a local and you have the time to spend a couple days there, that's what you're looking to do. I mean, I think you and I,
Kayaking's pretty popular.
yeah, what kind of kayaking? Like whitewater kayaking? Because like I don't want to like die.
That's funny you should say that because the things I was reading about apparently, and I haven't gone to the actual national parks website to verify this, but apparently, if you go to like the national parks website for Black Canyon of the Gunnison, they don't shy away from using the term death or risk of death. So, like every activity they have, they put on there like the death numbers and or like they mention death a lot. So I I'm willing to bet it's a bit of a risky kayak, but it says kayaking is popular. It also says cross country skiing is super popular.
Oh, I mean, I'm reading here early on. There was a guy by the name of Abraham Lincoln Fellows and William F. Torrance. They're the first people to run the entirety of the Black Hills Canyon, traveling a sopping 33 miles in 9 days.
33 miles in 9 days. Wow, that's some sketchy terrain.
Yeah, yeah. No, they say the men hiked, bouldered, swam, and rafted down the river on an air mattress. Though an equally miserable and hair-raising experience, their journey proved that an irrigation tunnel could be built. A 6-mile, 11 by 12-foot diversion tunnel was completed in 1909 thanks to the fearless efforts of these two men.
Well,
Crazy.
I'll be damned. Thank you. I don't know really how much I've benefited from the irrigation tunnel, but you know what? I gotta say thank you.
Right? No, it's interesting. There's a lot of cool stuff. Um, it looks pretty. I don't think we'd be doing any canyoneering in this park ourselves.
No, to be honest, I don't know. I don't know what I would want to do if I went to this park. Um, I think well for 100% would want to do like a hike. But I don't know if I would want to do something like, trying to get down into it or maybe start in it or just hit a viewpoint. I don't honestly know what I would want to do in this park,
They
but
say
I know
they
I want to go to it. It's weird in that sense.
No, as I'm reading more and more, they're talking about like there's the north side and the south side of the canyon, and it's about an 80-mile drive if you want to get from one side to the other. And um, that north side has kind of the access that those two men went down, and they say the hiking is very strenuous if you take any of those trails. Um, and you're hiking down and then you're hiking up, which is always the worst. I prefer the other way around. I rather hike up first and then down last.
Yeah, that's always a tough debate. Like, which one do you do first? Um, you know, I don't know. I don't know. Depends on like the day of like the trip I'm on. If it's early on in the trip, I might be okay going down first and then up later.
Right? No, it, it depends exactly because, like you were saying, this is how you schedule it into your trip. It's not a large park. I mean, there's places to stay around there. There's places to stay probably in the park. And I know I'll dive into the national park website here myself because I'm starting to get kind of curious about what more the park itself has to offer other than just kind of the stuff around. Um, Apparently, the winter is also a good time to come here. There's a bunch of winter activities. You can probably snowmobile and cross country ski, like you said. Snowshoeing is also fun. And they also have elk. We have Rocky Mountain elk in this park, so they say be on the lookout for them.
It's also home to the fastest animal, the peregrine falcon. Um, they frequent the area, which would be kind of wild to see because I bet you, why they're so popular there is because of the depth of it, so they can just freaking dive bomb into that canyon to get whatever they're trying to get.
Well, and I'm sure, like just what you're saying is, those swells of air that canyons produce.
Oh yeah, that's a good point too.
Ah, man, I'm looking at that painted wall. I just saw a picture. It's beautiful, and then you have the just all the the narrowness to the canyon. It looks very tight. It looks cool, but I mean, it also if you could get these high up views like you have from the visitor centers and whatnot, from the easy lookout areas like you have, it makes me want to go down into it.
Yeah,
Get
I
involved.
it'd be interesting to see because it is so narrow to see the other side of this canyon and then the massive walls right there, which is so opposite to the Grand Canyon. When you go to the Grand Canyon, it's so massive. You're just in awe of that. And so I think this is a different kind of awe that you get.
Oh, I think so. I mean, it's kind of crazy. Like you're saying, I'm on the national park website right now, and I'm looking at the just like you're saying, the death. Everything they say, you will die. You don't drink from the spring water, or some water is not available in the park. Make sure you're bringing water. Make sure you're doing this. Make sure you get the wilderness permits. Make sure you're and so the permits from the North Rim, you can put them in for 20 people, 5 people, or 15 people, so they have and they're all limited. It's
Huh.
sketchy in that sense. I think that's part, you hit some of these parks with permits, and part of the permits are more for safety
Oh
rather than.
yeah, I bet. Actually, most of the time it's for safety, why we have permits, but I think this one is maybe this one is quite the thrill, not gonna lie. Maybe this is a bit more of an adventurous side of going to all the national parks.
Well, I should we do it?
I want to go for sure.
I mean, like the Gunnison route right here, okay? It goes from the South Rim Visitor Center, and it's the first few switchbacks. You'll come to sign that says Wilderness come on. An 80-foot chain is located about third way down. Once you reach the river and outhouse campsites are located. It's only a 1.5 mile, 1,800 feet drop.
Only.
That spot. There's some other ones. 1 mile, 1,900 feet drop. The Warner route is 2.7 miles with a 2,700 foot elevation drop.
Yeah, it's just all up and down. That's what it all really is.
But honestly, like I could do a mile like that because it's really not that long. It's a bitch to do. Yeah, don't get me wrong. It would be a bitch because it's a lot of up. You're going straight up, but I'd rather do a mile than 6.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to think you could do it. I'm gonna be real. You don't have the best track record.
No, no, we just got to make sure we plan well. But going back to animals here, so your good friends, the yellow belly marmots, the ground
Oh,
squirrels, the chipmunks, and the mountain cottontails are all there.
uh, funny story about the yellow-bellied marmot. Um, Somebody recently like ate, I think the liver of one or one of the organs of one of the marmots, the yellow-bellied one, and ended up getting the black plague.
Oh, good. Well, that's also another sign that those animals, like you don't need to hunt squirrels and rabbits and those kind of, you just don't.
No,
You're
you,
good.
you really don't. But yeah, it's always interesting when the Black Plague pops up every once in a while because it was such a big deal like way back in the day. But it still hangs out, says, "Hey, I'm here."
Right? Yeah, that's what we had, the yellow belly marmot. We had those at Pompey's Pillar, so I'm just kind of like, all right.
I know there's a lot where you're like, well, you wonder how they like prepared the organ if they just ate it like raw or something. There's maybe they did. I don't know. I just know they ate one of the organs of a yellow belly marmot, and then they ended up getting the black plague, which makes you worried about those crazy guys that do that show alone, where they're just shooting and killing squirrels to like feed themselves.
Yeah, I'm not about small game like that. Like I feel like you need to get into the bigger, a little, the more the herd animals, like the deer, the elk.
Oh,
Uh,
100%. That's a way better to go. But on that show, they're trying to survive, so they're like, "I'm gonna
yeah,
eat anything I can."
yeah. We'll be better if we ever get on a show like that. But no, they
No,
got.
I'm not going on that. First off, that's great, the greatest TV that is out there, because these people are already a little weird to like begin with. And then they go and they're by themselves, filming themselves, and they just keep getting weirder and weirder as time goes on. And that is just absolute makes for fantastic TV.
Oh, so does. I mean, I like the First Peoples, that the up in Alaska show that Disney Plus just came out with this year. It's about the native people and how they're living their way of life. Because there's a father son. They live out on like the Aleutian Islands basically, and they're closer to Russia than Alaska, even kind of where they're at. And like you can tell kind of exactly what you're saying. Yeah, sure, they have a film crew there,
Yeah.
but they're like, oh yeah, let's like say that around this guy because like he's new or he's different. You know what I mean? Like, let's be a little weirder today.
Yeah, they're just when people are by themselves, like people you get weird. I don't care, like the most normal person, if you're by yourself for long enough, you'll get weird. And so if you start off a little weird, you just get better.
Yeah, no, it's good. And that, I mean, that's why some people honestly they do watch it, you know, like
It's fantastic, fantastic TV.
no, it is. It's good TV. It makes for good stuff. It makes for fun. You know, they need to do more of that stuff because I think you get like true people.
Yeah, maybe they should go to Black Canyon of the Gunnison, see if, although that'd probably be a liability because of all the death that is surrounded by this park. It's not called black because of death, it's called black because of the lack of sunlight. So even though there's a lot of death, we talk a lot about death, it's more because of the sunlight.
You know, and I'm getting excited here too because I'm starting to read a little bit ahead and I'm seeing the fishing. I like the fishing, and they call it a gold medal water and wild trout water.
Yeah,
And
which that has to do with like the sustainability and like the size of the trout that comes out of it.
you should read, or not read, watch the show Artificial, Artifishal. Patagonia put it out, and it is about the salmon on there out by you out there on the Pacific coast, and hatchery fish essentially, and how hatcheries are ruining the DNA of salmon, and how that actually doesn't help the river; it actually harms the river. Where the wild trout, the wild fish like this in places like this actually are what heal the river.
That's why I believe you're not allowed to catch and you're not allowed to keep the wild Chinooks if you catch one there on the Columbia.
Well, good. That's
And
really
you know they're not wild because they'll have a fin that's clipped. If they're wild, they will still have the fin. If they're hatchery, they'll be clipped.
oh, that's good to know. No, they give you regulations here on the fish you can keep in this park. Right here, it's you can only use artificial flies or lures, no bait. All rainbow trout are catch and release. You can catch 4 brown trout a day. You can only possess 8 of them. You need that Colorado fishing license. And fishing is prohibited within that first 200 yards of the Crystal Dam.
Oh,
Yeah.
fun. Good to know. Another wonderful activity that you can do in the Black Canyon of Gunnison, and probably pretty risky still.
Well, you know, I was down fishing one time on a canyon over in New Mexico, kind of by Huron Lake there. And my dad, he hooked me in the back of the head. So, yeah, it's very dangerous when you're fishing in canyons.
Yeah, exactly. So I was kind of thinking of getting into sport fishing again, but I feel like I need a good quality net.
Well, you know what, Reverend? I got the key solution for you. You know, our friends at Blue Ribbon Net make this eco-friendly aquafade bag so you're not hurting the environment. It's 100% biodegradable. Plus, the wood is locally sourced and it is also biodegradable. And it's just such a great company to use. The Blue Ribbon Nets, they're here in Bozeman, Montana. And we even have a discount code. That's right. If you use the code Rougarou10, that's right. That's my Jeep, the Rougarou. Rougarou10, Rugaru10. You're going to get some discount on a Blue Ribbon net. You know, you can get the long one if you're fishing the big fish, or you can get just the good river one, you know, if you're like me and just want to catch a lot of fish.
So again, make sure you go check out Blue Ribbon and use the promo code Rougarou10.
Hey there, Reverend. I heard that you might be running dry on your sticker supplier.
Yeah, I've been looking around and I've kind of like run out of cool stickers to buy and put on water bottles and stuff.
Well, I mean, have you seen the stuff Josh has been coming out with lately?
No, I have not.
Well, he is doing some really cool stuff with the Shop LS 574. Yes, they're working with indigenous communities and making some really cool stickers. He has a really cool Buffalo Mountain sticker. There's even water bottles, hats, sweatshirts, the whole swag. And we even got a discount code for you guys. Yes, if you use Wandering Ways at Shop LS 574, you're going to be getting a discount on your next purchase. But not only that, you're going to be giving a percentage of that sale to the Little Shell Tribe, as well as they donate $1 of every sale to murdered and missing indigenous women. So just such a cool thing going on there. You know, you use the code Wandering Ways, WANDERING and you put that in there, boom, you're getting a discount.
Yeah, but there's a lot of kind of cool stuff or cool shit to do and see in the Black Canyon of the Gunnison. Besides it being just such a mouthful of a name for a park. But
I think honestly, Gunnison, if you watch the show The Ranch, you know, with Ashton Kutcher, the Garrison, they're from Garrison Junction. I think it's supposedly like this part of Colorado that they live in.
oh, I don't know. It's just such a mouthful. It's Black Canyon of the Gunnison. Like we have to keep putting the other parts um of it. But anyways, no, now it is time for cool shit. Cool shit in nature. I've got two as per usual. Here. So gotta
I'm
get
excited.
I have two. One of them is kind of inspired by this week's topic. And I say kind of because it's loose. It's a loose connection. We'll see if you catch the connection. But here is the first one. But if for the people that are just listening in, it is an ibex that is climbing a very, very steep dam almost, which is absolutely crazy that they can do this shit.
You know, it's wild because look at the way they're just adapting, but it's kind of also fucked that we as people haven't kind of realized that we need to uh that they're using this dam, right? There's probably in a park or national park over there, kind of, or in an area where like, oh yeah, like we have cameras on the sheep. Like they should have made. I mean, they're handling it pretty well because look at like there's like 10 of them right there. But
I
make
know, right?
make a little bit better steps for them. You know, maybe like let's encourage them being there.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but I mean, like, if you've ever watched like the Planet Earth series, they always show these guys in like the mountain episodes, and they're on like similar kind of sketchy cliffs where it's like just as steep. So while I get
Yeah,
your argument too, because it's man-made, but like they're made to do this shit.
yeah, and you're not wrong. I mean, that's why they're doing it. But I think like let's encourage it. Let's help them get, you know, because in reality, that was like a waterfall or a river there, and how they would cross it was a lot different. So make it more natural to that.
Yeah, 100%. I don't think you're wrong on that point, but like these
It's
guys
cool.
are,
So this is really talented stuff.
yeah, these guys are really good at rock climbing. Um, no, but the second one is this one actually you sent my way,
Oh yeah.
and it's a bear chasing a skier.
Yeah, what do you think of this when you see this? Like what like this guy's like hauling too, because he's just like I mean
Yeah,
he's doing the zigzag, so he's not going too fast. Maybe he's encouraging the bear to keep up, but
well, that's what if you look at like the little caption right here, like if you Google it, apparently, like the skier knew about the bear and was trying to get away from like students or something. So he's like almost, I guess he's enticing the bear to follow him.
Oh, so they were with other people probably up the hill, and he's like, "All
Yeah,
right, go. Let's just come on, bear." And that bear is hauling too, just
kind of
down there.
ballsy of a guy to be like, yeah, I can definitely outrun this bear.
It's kind of well, I mean, he can because the skis you can go a lot faster than a bear down the hill.
I know,
But
but like if you catch something wrong, that's tumble, tumble, fall, and then you're eaten.
I mean, you're not wrong, and I wonder too, like the bear, like what's the bear's motive here?
Yeah, you are kind of curious about that. I mean, he's got to be
Because
hungry.
right, because you do see bears like when they do chase people and they go after people, they like give up sometimes. Like like this bear covers a big within that distance that he's covering, you think he would give up by then.
Right. I wonder that too. It does seem like it's a long like the bear would give up well before.
Turns out it was a Newfoundland dog. No, I'm just kidding. He looked like a bear.
I mean, yeah, sure. But
But
it would be
yeah.
pretty scary. I mean, especially for me if I was the one skiing because I'm not a good skier.
Oh
Um,
yeah, I'd be dangerous. I'd pee myself. It's very impressive. And as they say in the subpar the 0-star ratings of the National Park of the Black Canyon and the Gunnison, they say not impressive.
Not impressive. I
Just,
was curious
just,
what they were going to say about this park.
just not impressive. But I'm looking at an aerial view of the South Rim Drive, and the way it just like drives by this canyon. I feel like we're in for a treat down there.
Would you say it is impressive?
Oh, I'd say it's more than impressive. Like there's that. So you have right the scenic drives that to me very impressive. You have the South Rim Road. It's a 7-mile drive. Has 12 overlooks. They say allow for 2 to 3 hours to view the overlooks. You have good stopping points at Gunnison Point, Chatham View, the Painted Wall, and Sunset View. You have the North Rim Road, which is actually reached by taking a gravel road from Crawford State Park. So kind of off the beaten path, kind of the stuff the Wandering Ways podcast is into. Takes you to 6 overlooks. They say, about 2-3 hours, give yourself that. And there is a North Rim Ranger Station only open in the summer as that road is closed in the winter. The last big road that they kind of have for the scenic drives is the East Portal Road, which it takes you down to the Gunnison River. It's a 16% grade. No cars bigger than 22 feet are allowed. There's a campground down there. It's part of the area where they say there's good fishing. So I think like if we're going to the park, we're doing the East Portal Road, you and I.
Yeah. One of the other things that kind of makes this park appealing is it's one of the lesser viewed or lesser visited parks. It's the least visited in Colorado, and then it's on that list of one of least viewed overall amongst the
Oh,
national parks. So
that is interesting.
yeah, I'm trying to remember. So
I'm sure
they
Rocky
had a
Mountain's number.
total in 2019, they had a total of 432,818 visitors.
Oh, that ain't bad.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's
That
still a lot of people, but it's not that many people in the grand schemes of visiting these parks.
no, no, it's not when you look at like the numbers Yellowstone, Smokies, and Yosemite pull in. Um, wow. I mean, it encourages me to want to get down there and visit for sure.
Yeah, no,
Uh,
for sure. I mean, sometimes it's these lesser visited parks where you can really like yeah, maybe they don't have like the big ticket items of like a Yosemite or a Yellowstone or a Smoky, but I don't like when you go to Lassen, like Lassen doesn't have the same awe factor as like a lot of other parks, but because there's not that many people comparatively, like it's got a different kind of feel to it. It's a very nice kind of feel when you get into it. So I feel like this one definitely has that sense of adventure for sure, because death is upon you. But because it's less visited too, I think that adds to it.
Well, and just looking at the area that it's in, it's in a beautiful spot of Colorado. It's in kind of the Rockies there. It's kind of crazy to look at, and think that when we did that big road trip, it's kind of down the highway that we took from, when you go kind of south of Grand Junction there.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you could get there. So if you were doing like a loop, you're throwing it into Arches, like Arches, Canyonlands, Mesa Verde, Black Canyon of the Gunnison. There's even the Colorado National Monument, Great Sand Dunes National Park over in southern Colorado is kind of nearby that, as well as the fossil beds.
And the what's that, 4 Point park or whatever, where it's like the 4 states converge.
Four Corners.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, no, and exactly. And then you have the Aztec Ruins National Monument in New Mexico. You're close to Chaco Culture National Historic Park. You're close to Canyon de Chelly National Monument. You're close to Monument Valley. So you're getting that desert, high desert mountains, canyon, probably a feel similar to the Grand Canyon, but narrower. Is kind of what I'm getting. It's very narrow, not as deep either. But it's, to me, like you're saying, there's not a lot of people, there's not a lot going on. I like that about parks. That's kind of why I really want to take you down. And even though we came close to it this summer with the Bighorn Canyon, is because you do get some really cool spots and some viewpoints and some lookouts that are just like, wow, this is neat. This is cool. I need to spend more time here. And we don't.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot in that area. So I think in reality, you could spend a week or two just in that area, seeing a whole bunch of things. You can really kind of create, I think, a really cool kind of trip, because you can have a little bit of mountains, a little bit of desert, a little bit of, Moab's always cool. So you can just stay in Moab, enjoy Moab, and then you can go and hit up Arches, all that. So I think that area in general might be kind of a bit of a hidden gem.
Well, and it's so kind of upriver, I assume, or downriver. I can't quite tell which way the rivers flow, but going east of the park on the water, you run into the Huron County National Recreation Area. So that's going to be, the boating, that aspect of recreation that you get more outside of the parks. There's a reservoir, and I feel like you get similar kind of the Lake Powell vibes that we got when you're close to the Grand Canyon, with things to do, more camping opportunities, more recreation opportunities outside of just like the hiking and camping that national park. Because typically, like, you can't do as much in the national park as you can in these other parks. That's real close. So if you are going to make a few days out of it, you have that opportunity to, pull the boat down if you want, or do something similar to that.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think you could really do anything. So I want to hop into Black Canyon. I just want to tell one kind of fun story that I read about about the park, or that area in general. But so there were two brothers who basically invented tourism photography, set up shop in this area. So Ellsworth and Emery Kolb became full-time residents of this area, where they ended up buying a photography studio in Williams, Arizona for $425, which is like, damn. But they ended up setting up shop there in the park area because of the demand. They would just take pictures of people in the park and then come out and basically started the whole, you can set up your photography, get all your fancy pictures. So like I'm like a photo shoot with like a professional photographer. Like people pay, they do this, they'll go on a trip and they'll pay to get one pictures someday in there. I can't, there's like a specific term for it. It's probably tourism photography.
But even back then, that was a thing, because when you look at like who was traveling to the parks, it was people with more money, and they were able to like, yeah, for hire. You know, you're basically like my photographer for hire while we're out in this park going around, and those were jobs and gigs. You know, that's what, you know, one of the jobs during like the Great Depression you saw, where photographers going out documenting kind of everything going on. You know, there was people who did that during COVID as well. But yeah, I'm on board. The Wandering Ways crew would be happy to follow someone around if you want to pay for us to document your journey. You know, we're all for that. As we document our own journeys in these places and enjoy it as well.
Do you think those pictures that the Cole brothers took, do you think they'd get a bunch of likes on Instagram?
Probably. I'm sure they already have, you know.
No, actually, I bet you there's somewhere you can find them on Instagram.
Well, that's what I mean. Like where people.
Yeah, they probably have at least 5 likes. So
at minimum.
Yeah, at minimum. Another fun fact about this park is that it has a sister park, and it's a sister park with one in Serbia. Called the Tara National Park in Serbia is its sister park. You know, there's those sister cities, sister parks. I don't really quite understand how that works, especially because I don't think the Tara National Park is as canyony or cliffy as Black Canyon of the Gunnison, but you know, it's a cool little thing, and they got a nice little thing going. So kudos to them.
Right? No, I mean, I guess it's like Waterton and Glacier, right? Like kind of sister parks in that way. And you know, you do have like some of those cities and towns that have like, yeah, we're like our cousin cities or our sister cities over in Europe or this, right? Yeah. But also kind of I'm perusing, just browsing, just looking at everything on the national parks website here. And I'm like, what things to do, right? You go to plan your visit, things to do. First button, astronomy festival.
Oh, there's a whole festival.
They call it Astrofest, and it just happened September 22nd to the 24th of this year. They have daytime events, which include like an activity table. They have learn about Mars and exoplanets. And then at night, they have the dark skies talk, the stargazing with telescopes.
Shoot. When is the 2023 Astro Fest? Because I gotta try and go.
I think it's September every year, so you're busy in September. Sorry.
I think they should bump it to July or June.
Right, just for you.
Yeah, just for me.
No, they say bring warm clothes because it gets cold at night, and a red flashlight.
Yeah, you got to get the red light ones. So that way it doesn't fuck up everyone's stargazing.
Well, you can stop by the astro activity table to do so during the day. But I saw that and I said, that screams Mark, like things to do in the park. So make sure, I think if we're hitting this park, we're making sure we're spending a night there just to see the stars.
Oh, 100%. Even if it's just a little quick in, check the stars out type deal. There's definitely, I bet it would be really cool during like a meteor shower.
Oh, or even during the Neowise comet or Halley's comet when it comes back around.
Oh yeah, when there's those comments, those the Neowise is going to be a hot minute before that one pops around. But
I just meant like
was a comment that would be
a few years ago. It was probably good. I'm sure you could look up Gunnison Canyon, Black Canyon of the Gunnison.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, if you pay attention to any of the star stuff, meteor showers, comets, all that, I bet that's a pretty well spot to go and check it out.
Well, you know, it's interesting you kind of talk about that, and it's you talk like right now everyone's hot on Jupiter because it's so close to Earth. So you're getting all the like, oh,
Oh
there's
yeah,
Jupiter
yeah.
right there. Like we all know where it is. And it's like, yeah, I knew that before that, before the news was doing all that crazy stuff.
Yeah, right. Uh,
But it is what it is. No, it's cool. I'm looking up right here. You could also do horseback riding, so you could take horses down into the canyon, which might be cool to do.
yeah, that would be, I think, kind of cool to do. Go into the canyon like that on horse. I'm not personally like too into the horseback riding and all that. Um
Why?
I'm not a huge fan of horses, I guess is really what it is. I think I would do it like maybe once at like one place and be like, checked it off the bucket list type deal.
I feel you. The thing I like about horses, I feel like they help with getting you into places like that a
Well,
little bit
yeah, they
better.
do all the work for you.
Exactly. Um, so you can do it when you're 60 years old, 50 years old. You know what I mean?
Oh, I'm not really hating it on it. It's just not my thing.
No, I understand. I understand. Not
Yeah.
yet. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Yeah, when I'm 70 years old, that's when I'll do it. I'm like 70. That's 40 years around the corner. So, but anyways, that there is the Black Canyon of the Gunnison in Colorado. One of the youngest parks out there right now. That is our ABCs because I am gotta be that guy because we're getting to the end. And it is time for the final words. So, final words, my guy.
Um, Thanks for talking Black Canyon of the Gunnison with us today, everybody. Thank you for staying along this long. It's an interesting park with lots to do. As you can hear, we like to wander here and there and talk about like different aspects of the park, different things that we learn as we're reading them, as we're coming up with them. This is definitely a park we need to get into, what we need to do. I like I said, I was talking with Mark, Matt, but he was the one. We need to go down to the Black Canyon of the Gunnison. I've heard good things about it, and I'm like, yeah, no, we do. This is a park that is on the list. So if you guys want to, shoot us some money to help fund our expenses, go for that because we want to get down to these places. We want to explore these places, but there's some logistics that come into play sometimes. No, that's been great. We got some good stuff coming up. I want to get out to Yellowstone here soon. Now that the Beartooth Pass is, well, they're closing it today, and they opened up, like they're going to open up the road November 1st to Mammoth. So the park should be open, and I can do more of what I want to do in the park. So I'm super excited to do that. Yeah, I guess that's it, Reverend.
All right, all right. Reverend's final words of wisdom. Stay beautiful, everybody. I can't tell you how much I appreciate every single one of you for sticking around, listening today, listening to all the other episodes, all that stuff. The ABCs, they're like low-key kind of a favorite because you get to learn about parks that I never really heard of. I don't think I heard of the Black Canyon of the Gunnison. So really do enjoy doing all these. Get out there, do a bunch of stuff, be active. Motion is the potion, so just getting out there doing whatever it is to get you moving outside in nature, in that sunlight, um, you know, doing all those wonderful things. But with that being said, peace out, everybody.
Bye.